Hey guys, welcome back. Today I wanted to talk about healing, and this is specifically early game healing. While you're leveling as a priest, especially in the fresh server, hardcore, classic, you're going to be expected to heal in dungeons. That's just part of playing a priest. So, for those of you who may be playing a priest for the first time, maybe you normally play DPS, you like casters, you like the idea of a shadow priest, but you know that you're going to have to heal in dungeons, well, this will be a good intro for you. So I'm going to cover some basic areas of playing priest early on, and what you need to have set up in order to heal, more or less. So first, let's talk about gear. This character here, my priest, is level 17 currently. You can see the gear that I have here. Let me bring this over here. So I have given her some pretty decent gear. As far as stats that you want to go for, definitely aim for Spirit. Spirit is your best friend. You want to regen your mana as quick as possible in between pulls. So, Spirit's number 1. Intellect is number 2. A bigger mana pool is better, obviously. So, Intellect is your second choice for stats. And third choice, especially in hardcore, which it's a very close third, is going to be stamina, right? So you can see here on all my stats, I'm going for a lot of Spirit, especially boots like these pagan shoes of Spirit. These things are cheap on the auction house. I actually picked these up for, I think, around 18 or 19 silver. And they've got 6 Spirit on them. Really good stuff. Once you hit level 17, make sure you pick up some of those. I would highly recommend it. For weapons, it's basically a stat stick. I got +4 healing. You really don't need plus healing for healing early dungeons, especially Ragefire Chasm, which is the one we're going to be playing today. But I figured for I'll be able to use this weapon. I just picked this up in the auction house as well. I'll be able to use this well into my 20s, I figure, if I don't get anything better. You know, if I find something with a lot of Spirit or Intellect on it, then I'll probably switch it out. But I didn't have that yet. I'd been questing, leveling, just hadn't found anything good like that. So went ahead and picked that up. Offhand, just get something with some Spirit or Intellect or both. Wand. Your wand is going to be probably the biggest impact on your leveling while you're leveling a priest. So always make sure that you have the latest and greatest available wand for your level. Within reason, right? Don't go and spend a ton of money on it, but you want to make sure you're upgrading your wand as you level up. So I have Greater Magic Wand. You can pick that up starting level 13. So I haven't upgraded it yet from that, but I will be soon. So that's it for the gear choices there. Let's talk about talents real quick. As far as talents go, when you're leveling a priest, you're basically going to always go with your first 5 points into wand spec, just because, like I was saying, wands are how you level. Unless you're just specifically dungeon running all the way to 60. Well, really, you can do other specs. I think it's somewhere in the 40s. I don't remember exactly. But, you know, for at least the first 30 levels or so, this is basically how all priests will level for questing. So put your first 5 points into wand spec, and then the rest you're going to go shadow, go Spirit tab. Once you get this maxed out, which I'm not there yet, obviously, I'm only level 17, but by the time you're level 19, you can have this maxed out, and you're getting it's 100% regen. What is it? 100% chance to gain 100% bonus to Spirit after killing a target that yields experience. So especially while you're leveling and questing, this is going to be huge. It's going to regen you'll never run out of mana, basically. It's just a really good talent to have as well. And then you'll continue from there in the shadow tree. I'll probably cover that in the next dungeon video that I run with the priest. So that more or less covers your talent choices up to this point in the teens. As far as the wand goes, I do want to mention one other thing. When you're not healing, you know, maybe it's on the last mob of a pull or something and you don't really need to heal anymore, do some DPS with the wand. Help out the D. Let's just get through it a little bit quicker, you know? Don't just stand there doing nothing. You can do DPS with your wand. It doesn't cost you any mana. Very easy to do. Do some DPS with your wand. That's all I wanted to say. Too often, Not that often, but more than I should. I see healers that will just stand there doing nothing. If you're not drinking water, you should be DPSing with your wand or healing. That's basically how it goes. So keep that in mind. Let's see, what else do I want to talk about? Let's talk about abilities real quick. So what are we going to be using while we're healing? Now, one thing a lot of rookie healers will, one mistake that a lot of rookie healers will make, power word shield. Do not put this on a tank unless they're about to die or something. Only in dire circumstances. Warriors, tanks need to generate rage in order to use their abilities so that they can generate threat. The way that they get rage is by being hit and taking damage. If they're not taking damage because they have a shield on them, they're not generating rage, which means that they can't generate threat with their abilities. So do not put shield on a warrior or a tank when they're running in at the beginning of a pull. Okay, if it's towards the end of a pull, they've got a ton of threat already. You just don't want to heal for the next, I don't know, how long does it last? 30 seconds. You know, or until it absorbs that much damage. So 94 damage at this level. What was I saying? So the power word is going to stop, so they won't be able to get the threat generated at the start of the pull. So just use it later on if you want to, but definitely not at the beginning of a pull. Sometimes priests make that mistake if they're not familiar with the mechanics. Another thing with abilities, so renew is your hot, right? Your heal over time. In this case, this is rank 2, heals 100 damage over 15 seconds. A lot of healers, new healers, have a tendency to want to throw a hot on the tank as they go into the pull. This is not good because it's going to give you a lot of threat. Your healing also produces threat based on how much healing you're doing. Usually not a big deal for a hot because it's spread out over time. But at the very beginning of a pull, it's going to be contending with only the tank's threat, and he usually won't have a lot of threat at the beginning of a pull because he hasn't generated a lot of rage yet. In most cases, right? In a lot of cases. So throwing a renew on a tank as he's running into a pull is just going to put a lot of threat on you. You are likely to pull aggro, and then you'll have a bunch of mobs running after you. Okay? And I want to say something here. If you do pull mobs onto you, don't run away. Don't run around like a headless chicken. Run to the tank. Just run right to the tank. He'll grab them right back off you, and then you're free to do whatever you need to. And that goes for DPS as well, obviously. So anyways, I just want to mention that with renew. Don't pop it on the tank right away when they're going into a pull. Give them a little bit of time. Let the tank build aggro. That goes for DPS too, please. Let the tank build some aggro, build some threat, and get aggro. And then you can go in with your heals and everything. They're not going to die in the first 5 seconds of the fight, okay? They're just not. If they do, then they shouldn't be tanking. So, let's see. Basically, the main thing with the healer, playing a healer, the name of the game is mana management, okay? You need to manage your mana efficiently. You want to make sure you always have enough mana to heal when needed. And that could come at any time. So, always, when you have some downtime, you should be drinking water, making sure you have your mana full. If you have your mana full already, you should be pulling, right? Your tank should be pulling if the healer has full mana. That's just how it goes. So when you have downtime, even if they're still fighting mobs, but you don't need to heal right now because you got hots on them, and you can DPS with your wand, like I was saying, or you can drink some water and get your mana back up, right? So always be managing your mana. And on that note, I do want to say always have water in your bags, okay? Make sure when you're going into a dungeon, go buy some water. In this case, the water I can get right now is melon juice. I went and bought a full stack of it, so I got 20 of it. You won't always have a mage in your group to supply water, right? So, yeah, make sure if you need to go buy some, otherwise pick some up questing, whatever. Make sure you have that. Also, make sure you have mana pots. I could have better ones than this, and I should. At this early level, you're not going to have mana problems, honestly. You shouldn't, if you're doing stacking the right stats on your armor, like on your gear, like I was saying. But always have mana pots, just in case. You don't know, right? So have them down here ready to go, somewhere on your action bars, keybound, whatever, right? Just make sure you can get to it right when you need it. You don't want the tank dying because he ran out of mana right at the last minute, right? What else? So water, mana, pots. As far as managing your mana, the other thing that you can do to manage mana really well is to downrank your spells, okay? By that I mean use lower rank spells than what your max rank is. So in this case, I have a rank 3 for lesser heal, but I may want to just use a rank 2 instead. Because I'm level 17, I did just pick up rank 1 of heal. So that is my strongest heal spell currently, right? Not only does it take the longest to cast, though, but it will also over-heal in a lot of cases where there's not that much damage that needs to be healed. So in that case, you want to downrank to maybe lesser heal rank 2 and just heal up to, 90 damage or 90 health on your party member, instead of over-healing and wasting that casting time and wasting that mana. Because again, mana management is the name of the game. So if you don't need to spend that mana to heal that much, then don't. Use a lower rank spell. So you can see here I have it set up on my action bar. I like to use the function keys. So in this case, F5 through F8 are my cast heals, and then my hots or instant cast heals will also be in here. My hots go in function keys 9 through 12, basically. So I just have to put my hand on those keys, and then I can hit whichever one for whatever I need. The way that you're going to be healing here, the best way to heal, I can't show you right now because I'm not in party, but my party, you'll see it when we go into the dungeon, my party is going to be right about here on my screen, right, in my UI. And I am using the raid frames. You just go into settings, wherever it is, I don't remember exactly, let's see, options, I think it's interface, raid frames. Use raid style party frames. Check that. You can set it to only appear when you're in 5-player groups or more, right? And that's how I have it set up. So however you want to set it up, that's how I suggest it. But make sure it's near the center of your screen so it's readily available. You can see it easily. And I like the raid frames because it just makes it really easy to see the health bars, which is important if you're healing, obviously. So with that, though, the way that you're going to heal is using, at least the way I would suggest you heal, and especially once you get into raiding, this is going to be way more important. So you might as well get used to doing it now. Mouse over macros. This is a big thing with heals. I'll show you, go to my specific macros here. Basically, a mouse over macro means that whenever I put the mouse over somebody's unit frame, whether it's in the party or target or whatever, or you can even just mouse over them in their model in the game, right? So their actual model, like this, I'm mousing over the bear right now, right there. So if you mouse over them like that, you can hit the button and it'll cast on whatever your mouse is on, whether it's on the unit frame or on the unit itself. Whatever you push the button while your mouse is on that, it's going to cast it on that target, okay? So makes healing very quick and easy, especially if you're just looking at your party frames and you just mouse over between the 5 different frames there in your party and heal whatever you need to on each one using those function keys, like I said. So you can see here what I have set up for a mouse over macro. There are simpler versions than this, but this one basically will either mouse over your target, mouse over where your mouse, okay, let me rephrase that. This will either target where your mouse is if you're mousing over something, or if you don't have your mouse over something at that moment, it'll target whatever your target is, and if you have no target, then it will target yourself. Okay, so it's kind of a catch-all macro for casting. And then you just replace the name of the spell there at the end with whatever spell you want, right? So I have heal, lesser heal, whatever. And so that's the macro for that. And so that's going to make it really easy. I'm basically just keep my mouse right there on the unit frames from the party frame there, and it'll allow me to quickly and easily heal whichever target I need to within my party. You also have Cure Disease. Cast this when you can. You can set up certain add-ons to show only debuffs that can be cured, and that makes it easier. Otherwise, you just kind of have to learn what can be cured and what can't. Trial and error. You'll learn it eventually. Another thing, using this a lot, I would recommend not using it unless you really have to, or if you just have nothing else to do at that moment, because it does use up mana, and like I said, you're trying to conserve mana for healing. Always, you want to always make sure you have enough mana for when you need it, right? And you don't know when that's going to be at all times. Beyond that, what else do I want to talk about? If you do pull aggro from the tank at some point, another important ability to use is Fade. This is going to fade out discouraging enemies from attacking you for 10 seconds. Basically, it's going to drop your aggro or drop your threat, right? So use that if you do pull aggro. I forgot to mention that before. Run to the tank, use that. They should go right back onto the tank, and you can run back and start healing again. Easy peasy. What else? I think that pretty much covers it for the basics of healing at an early level in this game. And that's really the basics of healing for the game in general. But that's everything you really need to know in order to heal Ragefire Chasm, which will be the first dungeon you play if you're playing Horde side. You can do this. Honestly, it's like level 13 to 18, right? Or 14 to 18, something like that. I don't, because I'm playing hardcore, I don't play it until at least level 16. If you're DPS, you can go in level 15, 14, 15, and really it's not a problem. The heals in the tank are what really matter. If the tank is level 17 or 18, you'll have no problem at all. If the tank is like level 15 or 16, make sure you have a good healer. Make sure they know what they're doing and that they're a decent level. I would say at least level 15. And you'll be able to get through this okay. So, anyways, that's pretty much it. I think I'll just leave it there, and then I'll join you guys again once I get into a group and we are starting the dungeon run. So I'll see you then. Okay, welcome back, guys. Got a group put together. I ended up just making the group myself. I like being able to choose who I have as a tank. Oh, we lost somebody. Okay, 1 second. I'm going to find somebody else. Okay, that's weird. Sorry, guys. We just did the first boss, and you missed it because... I don't know, my key bindings are messed up, I guess. I have a pause button bound for my recording, and I had the recording paused. So I unpaused well, I hit the pause button to unpause it, and it didn't unpause, apparently. And it did that twice in a row, it seems. So, the first one, not real boss, it was just that guy up there in the cave. He's very easy. Unfortunately, now I'm going to have to repeat everything I've been saying about healing. We kind of have the bear off tanking there. We have 2 tanks essentially because he doesn't have cap form yet, right? Oh, and some of them missed some of the shamans, so we need to get... I'll go back and get some of the other shamans so that they can finish their quest. So since we're doing this, I'll talk about the tanking again for the 3rd time actually, because I didn't realize until just now that the pause button was not unpausing the recording. So, as you can see, I'm using my mouse over macros, just mousing over the unit frames in our party here. And I am not healing at the beginning of a mob pull. When they pull, you don't want to be putting a lot of threat on yourself. So, let them get some aggro up, or get some threat up, so that you're not pulling aggro off of them, and you'll be fine. Don't pop a hot right at the start. Just wait until they're, 60-70% is usually where I'll start to cast one of my downranked heals. I don't use my most powerful heal, which for these guys will heal, around 40 to 50% of their health. But instead I'm using my rank 3 of lesser heal, which is my 2nd most powerful heal. And then I just kind of heal in chunks. And that allows me, they don't have to be fully topped off on health, but as long as they're, 90% or more, you're plenty good. And that's going to help you really conserve mana. So that's an important way to conserve mana. And then, like I was saying, not casting heals right away in a pull will allow you not to pull threat or pull aggro by producing too much threat too quick. Other than that, just cast your wand when you can. Do a little DPS, help out. Oops, accidentally right-clicked. Okay, now we're deep enough into the pull. I'm just going to hop both of them. and we'll do that. Oh, I didn't select a target though. Just DPS with the wand, no? Read it. How did everybody lose fortitude? It doesn't look like everybody has their fortitude anymore. They did have it before. Cast it on everybody when we started this. Okay, well, it's gonna use a lot of mana, but... there it is. Okay, it just wasn't showing. Not sure why it wasn't showing, but... I like a tank that actually marks the current target. I need to get better at doing that myself when I'm tanking. But, yeah, anyways, those are basically the, you know, that's basically the general idea of healing, at least at a low level. Here we are at level 17. Our group is just basically 14 Druid, 16 Warrior. Those are kind of our two tanks. They're co-tanking more or less, because the Warrior really was the tank, but the Druid doesn't have any other thing, any other form than his bear form. He could go Caster, I guess, but, anyways, we have a 13 Rogue, myself as a 17 Priest, and then we have our 14 Shaman, DPS. So, really, two of us are a pretty good level for this. All the rest are kind of on the lower end of what you would take in here, but for DPS, they're fine. As long as your tank is good and your healer knows what they're doing, you should be just fine. This is actually a really good dungeon. I don't know if I said this already or not while it was actually recording and not paused. This is a really good dungeon to learn how to heal on. If you haven't healed before, you're not familiar with it too much, you're nervous, don't be nervous about healing in RFC. It's a really easy, you can see the pace here. I mean, do some DPS and whatnot, but this dungeon is great for practicing fundamentals, just getting familiar with how healing works in a dungeon. It's not going to overwhelm you as long as your tank is, I would say, level 16 or higher. You're going to be really safe. Let's give him a heal. And then, like I said, just wait till they get to about 60-70%. Cast your second highest level heal, I would say. And, you know, if you need to do a little bit more, I can cast even lower level, lower rank heal there. It's all pretty easy. Other than that, just try not to pull aggro with your heals, right? Like I was saying, don't start healing right away when the tank goes in, because you're going to produce a lot of threat that way and possibly pull aggro. So you don't want to do that, right? Just put hots on both of them, and that'll make it that'll lessen the burden of healing that because we were actually casting heals pretty quick there for a few seconds. It was a bigger pull, so, you know, be aware that when you need to, put a hot on the tank, and then just keep going back to your heals. In this case, I'm using mostly rank 3 lesser heal. The rank 1 heal is my most powerful heal, but it also takes the longest to cast, uses the most mana, you know, stuff like that. So, don't be afraid to downrank, that's all I'm saying. Okay, let's hot everybody up. Shaman should be fine. DPS, you don't really need to worry about too much healing unless they just get really low. But to conserve mana, your main focus really should be the tank. So you can see I'm not worried about that shaman. Plus the shaman can self-heal if he needs to, so I'm really not worried in that case. But yeah. Easy dungeon to heal. If you haven't done healing before, it's fine. Don't be afraid to test it out with RFC. And you know, use this to practice the fundamentals, get the feel for it, really learn the rhythm, your rotation, you know, how you're casting and all that. And now he's, oh, yeah, now he's asking to share quests. It's a little late, dude. Okay, somebody else shared. So let's go ahead and redo, well, no, we're good. I'll wait to redo Fortitude on myself. It is getting low. I just don't want to forget. Oh, and you do try to remember to keep your inner fire up at all times. I did not have mine. It had fallen off. But just pop a hot on both of them. Basically just reading everything because I think my gear is as good or better than what's dropping in here currently. Most of it's basically about the same as what would drop in. All the greens that are dropping here are the same greens that have been dropping for me while I'm questing, right? So, in the Barrens. Let's go ahead and just, I guess, pop a hot on the shaman real quick. Since he doesn't seem to be regaining that health there. Right. This is a patrol that comes around, so make sure you grab him before you go into the boss. I mentioned that in other videos of this dungeon, but I'll mention it again because it is important. Unless your whole group is just like level 16, 17 plus, then you'll probably be fine anyways. Start healing. Okay, let's pop a hot. Pop a hot on both of them. We'll do a lesser hot on that guy. Just make sure everybody's staying healed at this point. Yep, don't need that. Do need that. Quest item. Go ahead and recast my Fortitude so I don't forget. We'll get everybody at the same time so I know what the timer is for everybody. Oh, out of mana. Okay, time to drink. Yeah, frost damage. I wasn't really looking at it. I think they were waiting on me even though my mana was basically full. pulled aggro. I could fade if I need to, but the tank was really quick to pick that back up. We do have basically 2 tanks at the moment, so that makes, I would hope so. If we have out of 2 tanks, nobody picking that up right away, then we're doing something wrong there. So, but if you're not in that situation and the tank is not picking it up very quick, feel free to run back up to the tank or just stand where you are and use fade. And that'll get you there. So we're just gonna cast some heals here, drop a hot, and DPS. Broke my own rule. I put renew on the tank there. I should have just cast a heal. Wasn't really thinking about it, but that's okay. I just didn't heal for a minute so that I didn't pull aggro, and it all works out fine. And this is how you do it. Just cast normal heals. Hold on, we'll wait, because he did the pull. If you can get it off before he does the pull, then it's fine. Otherwise, wait until after the pull, give him a few seconds. If you're doing everything right, he shouldn't be that low anyways at the end of a pull. So now we can cast that and DPS. Cast the hot, I meant. Alright. Moving right along. My inventory's full. Oh crap. I need to get some wool and bags on this character. Yeah, see, even that's not as good as what I got.
I cannot carry.
And that's boss loot. What? I won it. Are you serious? Okay, we're gonna drop that then. Pick that up. Oh, I still have my bag up. I am gonna need to get rid of something else. Let's use that on myself. Sweet. That should be good for now. Yeah, I'm not sure if there's 1 or 2 more quest items I'll need to pick up. I think just 1. pretty easy dungeon to heal. But it does set you up good for your next dungeon, which, you know, if you're Horde side, it's going to be Wailing Caverns. I guess you could go do Dead Mines if you wanted, but I don't think very many people do that. It's a long ways to go for a relatively low-level dungeon, right? And if you are on ally side, then you'll be doing that first dungeon as Dead Mines. So you can use all the same principles there, but I imagine most people watching this are going to be Horde just because it is a Ragefire Chasm run. Forgot to reset my data at the very beginning, but that's okay. You got hit. You should let the higher level warrior tank that stuff for him. Tank the bosses. I guess he wanted to give it a try though. Not a big deal. Can easily be healed even with a lower level tank, as you can see. That bear is only level 14. So, and I was able to heal him on the final boss, no problem. Okay, I was just curious on the data there. I'm pretty sure I got all the quests done, yep. Very good. He's gonna try and sneak past them. Alright, I guess you could do that too. I would just jump down. But, anyways, so, that's it. That is healing Ragefire Chasm. If you're new to healing, that should give you a pretty good intro to it, along with, you know, everything I was saying in the intro to healing. Yeah, can't really think of anything else that's real important. So, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.